planner by profession, and the second, the first vice national president of the Nigerian Institute of Stamps. Basically, that's
some background information.
Oh, okay, by myself. Okay, right. Born 1st of December 1953. I had my primary education in Elisha, secondary education in a place called Fidelity Grammar School. That's between Oyo and Ibadan. I finished that 72. 73, I entered the Polytechnic Ibadan for my ND, National Diploma. In those days, it was a 3-year program. I finished that in 1976. I worked with Lagos State Government as an assistant technical officer, 76 to 77. 77, September 25 precisely. I traveled to England, University of Newcastle upon Tyne, for my first professional degree program in town and country planning, as they call it. Entered 77, finished 82 June. Then I came to Nigeria, I did my youth corps with the Plateau Urban Development Board. That's in Jos. Finished that 83, I joined Lagos State Government Civil Service again as a town planning officer. I was there for 2 years. 83 to 85. 85, I went back to England to the same university of Newcastle, where I did my PhD in town planning, town country planning. I finished that, I got my PhD 8th of November 1987. 18th January, I came to Nigeria, joined the Lagos State Government Civil Service again for another 2 years. 1990, I resigned and I set up my farm, Femi Olawara Co, a farm of purely consulting town planning, rendering a farm of consulting town planners. And I've been on it now as a managing partner 22 years. Basically, that's the run through of my city.
Okay, so you are the chairman of the organizing committee of this conference. From the way it has been going, how do you feel?
I'm happy so far. The attendance has been very good, very good, and the quality of the papers presented has been very good as well. And looking at the comments from members, I think they are happy. And then we equally made efforts to get them accommodation. And for this, we are grateful to the management of Concorde Hotel. They were very supportive. They gave us a very big space. So we were able to house a large number of our members within this premises. That makes it convenient because the question of living in a room, come down to the hall. We had a cocktail here. We're having our dinner here tomorrow. So it makes it convenient for our members. So very good.
So you just said something about the quality of the paper presentation. Now, the theme of the conference, land use planning and national security. Some of us who are laymen, when it comes to town planning, we want to look at it and say, what about land planning and national security? Can you tell us more about it?
Okay, very briefly, let me give you a little bit of the background why we picked that topic. In Nigeria today, I think security is our greatest for everybody. At one time, it was a question of thieves stealing your clothes on the line when you spread it, using one hanger or one something to pick something in your room. They stay at the back of the room, and when you shout in those days, they will start running. They will pick race and run. From there, we graduated into armed robbery. And that could be due to the effect of the civil war. We now have people carrying arms, armed robbery. And That has been with us for a long time, and that has caused a lot of a lot of panic in our mind. You can't travel. You travel from point A to point B. You are not sure along the road. You may be waylaid. Nobody may. And gradually, we've now moved from there to kidnapping. And now we have the mother of all, the Boko Haram phenomenon. So all these things has created a sense of insecurity in the country. And we now think, okay, what can our profession, what can we do? We believe we have a lot to offer in issues of national security. And like you said, a lot of people will be wondering what has this got to do with national. Let me give you just two quick examples. Imagine, okay, what is town planning, by the way? What is it? Town planning is basically, a profession that have its objective as ensuring the orderly arrangement of land, the use of land in the overall public interest. Let me repeat it again. Town planning is principally concerned with ensuring the orderly arrangement of the use of land with the public interest being overriding in their considerations. Can you imagine, and again let me say, all human activities take place on land. Anything you do, recreational, whatever, as a journalist, you work on land, your office, your printing office, everything is on land. And since, like, following my definition, the profession is to ensure the orderly use of this land, taking into account the public interest. If I now have an adequate record of the use of every square inch of land in Owerri, for example, as a town planner, if I can just tell you, this is the use being made of this land, that is the use being made of that land, everywhere in the state, it becomes difficult for a criminal then. We can easily track criminals. I can tell you this particular property is being used as a residential building. It's owned by Mr. Y. This particular building is being used for industrial purposes. This particular building, that particular building. If I have that information on the use of that land, and it's accurate, the moment there is a change of use, I mean when criminals, assuming, take over one of the properties, using it to manufacture ammunition or storage of ammunition or something that is not in the public interest, I should be in a position to alert the right authorities. Because all activities, call it Boko Haram, call it Boko anything, their activities take place on land. So if you have an effective control on the use of land, and we know who uses what, it has its own security implications. Which means, tomorrow, if I observe there is a change in the use of that property, I should be able to know why, what are they now using it for? Why the change of use? And for any change of use, you need planning permission anyway. So I don't know if you can see the correlation in that. That is why. And can you imagine the Nigerian police? If you are able to have an adequate and well-prepared, what we call base map, showing all the streets in Owerri, showing the use of every land, showing this, showing that, and I make it available to the police. And the police wants to now say, okay, what goes on here, what goes on there. You know, as of now, if the police drives along one particular area, they don't know what is going on there. They don't have any record of it. So it's like a gambling, you just go there and gamble. And that's why at times they run into ambush, they run into this, they run into that, they do this, they do this, they do that. But if I'm able to have a very detailed base map and I give it to the police, it helps them in executing the agenda. Someone now tells there's a crime in one particular location. By mere looking at their map, they know where it is. You know, as that now, you police may get an alert. They said there's something happening on so street. Honestly, in some cases, they can't easily pinpoint where that street is. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. But under this kind of arrangement, the police will be able to have that kind of information at their disposal. And it's, again, this can be extrapolated into even the military, the whatever. I mean, this kind of information.
But the question is this: why don't we have such maps, such arrangement at the moment, knowing that your institute has been on for so long, one, and town planners are a part even of government, both at the federal, the state and the local government levels. Why is it that we still do not have such materials to help our security agencies in doing their job?
Yeah, I'll put it as the answer is a little bit simple. It's just the Nigerian phenomenon. It's a situation whereby government itself does not even, let me call it, believe in planning. Resource allocation for planning services are very, very low. Nothing good comes on a cheap. Government, if you look at the allocation of government to town planning services all over the country, at the federal and the state local government, is peanuts compared with what we need to achieve this level of sophistication we're talking about. And at times when we look at it, we have to contextualize it. All Nigerian systems, none is working. The educational sector allocation, I mean, universities are on strike right now. Why are we saying we have half-baked graduates? I'm sure a lot of reasons can be given. At the end of the day, resource allocation has to do with it. Why are we having flooding day and night? Again, government that is supposed to, make allocations and all this and take care of all this problem, they are not doing so. So the planning system is not an exemption. It's part of the whole parameter of the Nigerian failure. I mean, the failure of the system generally as a country. So it's not peculiar to it. It's just one of the numerous. If you look at the medical facilities, how many hospitals are functioning in Nigeria? How many of them have the required equipment to do appropriate diagnosis and follow-up with the ultimate population? So that sector is also suffering. What I'm only saying is that it's not an isolated case. It's part of the phenomenon of the Nigerian system.
Okay, sir. Now, papers have been presented. I've listened to speakers, and of course, they have great ideas. They have great ideas of how these things can be done. How do you make government to work on these ideas, these suggestions you are putting forward, so that it won't be like the normal Nigerian situation whereby great minds come together, provide great ideas and solutions, and nothing happens afterwards?
Yeah. You see, there is okay, let me tell you why ab initio what we are doing to make sure this thing gets the required attention. First of all, we expected the head of state to come here and be the special guest of honor. We sent a letter of invitation to him. The thinking is that if you have the head of state attending and being a guest of honor, at least that will go a long way. We invited the vice president to be here as well.
Who's an architect?
Who's an architect?
Who's related?
Related to our field. And we ask people to, those who, if you go through our brochure, those we invited to come and deliver papers, they are top people in the Nigerian security system. What I mean by that, the chief is the Inspector General of Police, supposed to come and deliver a paper, the chief of staff, we wrote a letter to the military, all arms of the military, the military, Air Force, Navy, and the Army, asking their security department to come and deliver a paper. We thought by bringing in this array of people, number one, you'll be creating awareness. We have the National Security Advisor coming to give a paper on it. We create awareness. And having done that, what we have decided is that, okay, within the limits of our ability, our power, at the end of this conference, as I'm talking to you, there's a community group working, taking notes of all comments, paper presentation, suggestions made and all this. And that communique, we are looking at it around 3-4 o'clock today. They will present it to the whole house. We will debate it, ratify it, and that will be in the press. That will be the basis for, apart from an advert we are placing, about a page advert in national newspaper, it will now form the basis of our press release on the conference here and there. And what can you do? We're not in government. We're not in government. All you can do is to talk. We organized the conference. We thank God it's been giving very good coverage, like what we are doing for us as well. It's been giving very good coverage, both in the print and the electronic media. And we hope one day, one way, somebody will listen to what we are saying. Who knows? Who knows?
But sir, assuming you are in government, as a professional, what will you do? Bearing in mind the present security challenges the country has, what will you do?
That's a very big question. Probably let me limit myself to what I will do from the point of view of land-use planning, because the issue of what can you do about the security situation in Nigeria cuts across. By the time we are talking of that, we are talking of Boko Haram, we are talking of kidnapping, we are talking, and I may not have the expertise to really give a solution.
No, from your own professional aspect.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm in government, I would first of all now instruct or direct all towns, all states, all local planning authorities in Nigeria have been issued now to start now and ensure that within the next 6 months they all have a good base map for their communities. With a good base map, you tell me these are the roads, this building, that building, these are the names of these streets, this is the use. And then following that, I will now order them to make sure they come with a map, what I will call the land use map of all land in their territory. By that I mean, you after your base map, you now tell me what use is currently being made of all these buildings in your area. I'll make sure I do that, and I'll now send copies of it to the police, to the whatever, and use that as a base, and then I continuously monitor it. So if I order that it will continually monitor, not that when you produce this map today, it becomes a static document. If today they are using this property for recreation, in another 3 months it will change hands illegally. So you need to monitor. And with that one, you'll be able to even track down. Anytime you notice a strange use or some whatever you can call it, by monitoring within 3 months, you know what is happening there. The average factory, it takes about a month or two to set it up. So if there is effective monitoring, today this place is vacant. If I go there in another 2 months and I notice a factory is going on, let me alert the right authority, because all these, what we read in the papers, this Boko Haram, they manufacture these, they even have a storage where they put all these, their dangerous ammunition, which means nobody knows that. We discover it is when the army and whatever, they now stumble into a building and discover there's so much ammunition. That's not good for us. We should be able to know as time, continuously the use we are making. If this building is suddenly turned into a storage facility, we should be able to know immediately and then alert the right authority. That's the kind of thing I would do from my own personal perspective.
Okay, sir. I once asked someone who said that we hear about master plans.
Yeah.
How many cities in Nigeria has master plan? Okay. How well is this master plan being followed?
That's a very, very brilliant question. let me give you an example. Okay, number one, in terms of cities in Nigeria that has master plan, they are not up to 5% of the entire country. They are not. If you count them one by one, how many cities are we having? Assuming it's 10. The number that has master plan is not up to 5%. So you can see the gross inadequacy of that particular facility in Nigeria. And then, even then, those who have it, how well are they followed in decision making? How well are they, how consistent are we interpreting the provisions in the master plan? For example, the master plan may tell you that this parcel of land is best left as a cemetery. The other parcel of land is best left for recreational purposes. The next parcel of land is best left for educational purposes. Right. Under a normal condition, this becomes sacrosanct. It should be respected by everybody. But in our own system, unfortunately, that allocation of land for a school, educational institution, don't be surprised, it's possible in Nigeria to change that use entirely from educational to hotel. And there are documented cases in Abuja like that. Even the Abuja, which has a very good master plan, have been issued prepared by these Japanese, these American and all this. Yes, they gave it to us, but what have we made of it? We have seriously bastardized it. And that is why Rufai, when he was the minister of FCT, went on a cleaning exercise, trying to all the mutilations and distortions and destruction of the master plan, was trying to correct it. And you may recollect, it demolished so many houses owned by generals or non-generals and all this and all this. So even where we have the master plan, they have not been respected. The Nigerian phenomenon, again, rears its ugly head, turning those documents into mere paper, not really of any relevance. And unfortunately, we spend millions of naira to get them prepared. At the end of the day, the kind of services they are supposed to provide for us as a guidance of development is eroded or is completely removed because of our peculiarity. You know, we don't respect those documents, and somebody who owns the land or where it is designated for one particular use, probably because it's highly placed, will now find a way, go around it. He won't respect that thing, put up what he thinks is okay, and untouchable anyway.